But now, yeah, more and more people caught up to the trend, and also the Miracle Rogues. Warlocks could be Zoo, could be Handlocks. We will just find out.
And whoa, we see a Shaman versus a Warrior. So not often to be seen that players not start with a Hunter or a Zoolog. We see more and more the control or mid-rangey starts, Ramp Druids, Shamans, even Control Warriors on day 2, week 3.
Yeah.
There were some Control Warrior starts too.
Oh.
And it's even a Frosing Berserker Warrior. Not the newer one from PkD.
A Frosing Berserker is more old school, but can work really well against those rush decks.
Absolutely. It's a nice card if you get it rolling, and it's gonna hurt your enemy hard, and he keeps it. So it's Armor Smith Frosing and a Yeti for Via here. That's some turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 play. And for SasT, we have a quite good hand too. He already holds a Yeti, the Wolves, weapon, and he has a coin. It's always useful to hold your coin.
He could potentially use his Earthshock.
There's an Armor Smith coming for Via here versus the Shaman, and with your Armor Smith you're already good. You get a 1/4 minion, and that's super annoying since your enemy, well, he might have a Lightning Bolt, but a Lightning Bolt is not going to kill an Armor Smith. You kind of need Spell Damage Totem first.
He got the wrong totem.
Well, now he gets even his
He got the worst case totem, to be honest.
Worst case totem. Via is just buffing up his Frosing, and he kind of needs to Earthshock already, or he's going to take annoying amounts of damage. There could be a Yeti incoming, but as we see for Via, slam Fury War Axe in his hand, he can just kill a Yeti instantly.
Would you go for the Earthshock, like the safer play, or go for the Yeti? We see SasT decides to go for the Earthshock to just be super safe.
Well,
you have went the other direction, just be more aggressive with the Yeti?
Now you kind of need to go that way, and now it's getting even more annoying. So he could just play Fury War Axe, kill one, Taskmaster the other one, but before attack with his 2/3. So he could just clear here if he wants to use his Taskmaster, or just slam the other one and trade with his 1/3. There are some options here, but what he can do is absolutely just vaporize the board, and it's so good. Your enemy is overloaded by 2, so he can only drop a totem, and you got 2 minions on the board and 1 with 2 attacks, so you can just clear the totem.
That's true. It looks really good for Via so far. But we see he has a Fire Elemental, he has a Chillwind Yeti. So next round, well, he can't play the Fire Elemental next round, but he can play the Yeti.
He can play the Yeti, and he has a weapon to get rid of the Armor Smith. He really wants to keep the board clear, but as we see for Via, there's already Acolyte of Pain, Crew Taskmaster, for example. There's just a Yeti, and a 4 or 5 Yeti, well, he kind of, if he's playing his own Yeti, that's just going to die to slam War Axe. And the other Yeti, he would need to hex it or something to get rid of it. Or turn 6, kill it with a Fire Elemental plus weapon attack. But still, it would be a threat on the board and super annoying. Via could also just Taskmaster up his Acolyte of Pain, draw some cards if he really wants. He could slam his Acolyte of Pain if he wants to draw more cards.
There are 3 options in my opinion. Chillwind Yeti, go for Acolyte of Pain Taskmaster, or go for Acolyte of Pain Armor Up.
But if you play your Acolyte of Pain, you should just Taskmaster 2 to prevent
Earthshock.
Well, another Earthshock. It could be incoming, is possible always. And you don't want to lose that card draw opinion. You have some options here, but after you played Yeti and Acolyte of Pain and the Taskmaster, your hand is empty. So there's, until turn 9, there's only Alexstrada at the moment roaming around, and that hurts quite a lot if you don't draw any cards.
That's definitely true. We see, yeah, there's 2 plays. He could potentially hex the Acolyte of Pain, but against a Control Warrior, you don't want to throw your hex out like that.
And we could have seen a Lightning Storm too to get rid of those 2 minions, but if you Lightning Storm here, you're overloaded again, and you cannot play your turn 6 plays, and that would hurt you even more.
And you could get unlucky and only deal 2 damage to the Acolyte, which would give the warrior more card draw, and that's what you want to negate.
Absolutely. Now he just slams the Yeti. Could also Taskmaster up his Acolyte of Pain, attack it, so 2 cards can be drawn by now, or use his weapon. It doesn't matter at all, but I would say 2 cards is a super high. He could even draw 3 cards if he wants to with a Whirlwind.
But he wants to keep the Whirlwind. If, for example, if he has an Azure Drake in his deck, he can clear a lot of those totems, like most of them.
That would be the famous 2 damage Whirlwind, and that's pretty strong against Shamans. Now he still has his Yeti. He has 6 armors for a Shield Slam. That's super good. Azure Drake for SasT and Fire Elemental. Well, I'm seeing here just Fire Elemental, the 2/3 away. Be happy. But we know Via is holding his Shield Slam, so just Yeti Shield Slam armor up is a really nice play here for Via, getting rid of the 6/5 minion, establishing a really good board control with the Yeti.
And armoring up. So he's already down to 30 effective HP, let's call it like that.
That looks really good for Via here, but he's running out of options too, so he might have an Execute and Whirlwind, but his only 2 creatures left are Alexstrasza and a Yeti, and we see there's already the Hex, there's an Azure Drake. He could kill the enemy minion now just with, well, with Rockbiter on his weapon and attack with his Argent Commander, or just play Azure Drake and Rockbiter to get rid of the Yeti. There are some really good plays here for SasT to get rid of the board. And whoa, he has an Hex, he has Alok here, he has card draw with Salnis.
Oh, we see a Cairn.
That's an older, I don't want to say an older version, that's a slower version than the mid-rangey one. You have Cairn in it. Cairn is often considered as way too slow.
Yes.
Now, in this case, from Via's point of view, he's absolutely useful. You can just drop him and you got that Cairn threat.
And you force an Earthshock or an Hex.
Most likely Hex, as we know, since there is no Earthshock in
SasT's
hand.
But Via doesn't know that.
Yep. And the good thing is, it gets hexed next turn Alexstrasza. But he would need to Whirlwind first to get rid of the Azure Drake. You don't want to leave an Azure Drake alive, especially not in that late game. So whatever you play, you need to fear plus Salnis, plus Spell Damage Totem, Power Lightning Storm, Power Lightning Bolt. I mean, he can deal 5 damage Lightning Bolt, and you don't want to drop a Yeti and get that 5 damage Lightning Bolt. Bolted.
Yeah, he keeps his Execute, uses his weapon. Would you have used the Execute here?
Or it's okay to not, since there is still a Whirlwind in his hand. He has a trigger here. Still has a trigger here, and the good thing but with not playing Cairn is he makes him maybe hex the Yeti. So there's a Yeti on the board. He cannot kill it. He might think about hexing it to get rid of it, and that would hurt a lot for SasT, since there's Alexstrasza incoming and Cairn, so 2 more minions you really want to hex.
Well, he has a big game hunter for the Alex.
He has a big game hunter for the Alex. That helps him a lot, but that Cairn is going to be super annoying if he really thinks about hexing here.
And the good thing is SasT is already down to 17 HP. If he would be at, I don't know, let's say 25 or 30 HP, no, this Alex would be way, way more devastating.
That's only 2 damage by now, so it doesn't hurt you a lot, and that's why some people don't play Frothings. You kind of deal the early damage, but if they die, you had 2 cards in your deck, they had some impact, but now you have your Alex, and you just deal the damage they dealt anyways, and you could have played 2 other cards instead of the Frothing.
Oh.
Wow, having Nalakia down to 1 is quite annoying.
Only to kill a Yeti? That's rough. It could just get Taskmaster now. Taskmaster and go for Cairn, or go Whirlwind and Cairn, which would make more sense because then you could armor up. Yeah, you lose some clearing potential, but you can also keep your Taskmaster for this devastating combo with Cromage.
The advantage by playing Taskmaster is having 1 more minion out, getting that, well, I'm not saying rush potential, but you have something on the board to deal damage, and that's good.
Lightning Storm.
But now, Hex Lightning Storm, for example, he could also, well, just charge in with his Argent Commander first. and then Hex. So just charge in, Hex, and then there's only a 0-1 annoying minion surviving. He still has a defensive Argus in his hand, so next turn just totem up, Argus up. That's quite good. And there's an Alexstrasza, and Via might think now, well, Alex, super nice for me. I'm just going to drop her, and there's an 8-8. But as we know, big game hunter for *SasT. This game is so annoying for Via. I wanted to say he's going to win it definitely with the hand he had here, but Shaman has so many options to deal with what Control Warrior is throwing in his face. And there's even second Argent Commander incoming.
Nice.
This is getting worse and worse. We might think about Salna's Lightning Storm just running in his Argent Commander to keep his big game.
But that's game of chances.
That's game of chances. The advantage, if you hit the Salna's Lightning Storm, you deal definite 3 damage, so you could just defend with Argus up, for example, still to kill it. The advantage by not using your big game hunter,
Ragnaros.
you can kill Ragnaros, you can still kill all the others, and you can kill her now. So there might be another time where you don't have an Argent Commander on the board to kill the enemy, and that's going to be annoying for you. And you might not have your big game hunter left to just play big game hunter kill, and you don't need additional stuff. And we cannot forget, 36 HP for Via with the armor, 7 armor in his hand with his shield block and his armor up. That's quite some, well, a lot of HP. And is he going to hit for 4? Unlucky.
3.
Now he needs to play his Argus to get rid of that Alex, but the play is generally better because your enemy has so many cards left to be annoying.
It just needs the card draw. Oh,
And he gets a brawl. So he can just wait, well, one more turn. I mean, you got 43 HP. Just wait one more turn. Maybe your enemy gets 1 minion plus a totem out. And then a brawl would be so valuable. Well, even with the Argent Commander, it's still value. Wow, and even Izera.
Wow.
You don't even need to.
Super slow.
You don't even need to brawl. You just play Izera, get enough HP. Even if there's a silence incoming, you don't care. There's a 4/12 minion being super annoying. And if you get an Izera Awakens, you can just clear the complete board without your brawl. I would favor Izera
Or
here.
if you get a dream,
Yeah,
just get her back.
yeah, just get her back or dream something else. Even that Drake is a
Totally
7/6
fine.
minion. Just super annoying. Oh, another defensive Argus for *SasT. But he cannot get rid of Alex of Izera. You can Earthshock here, or you kind of need to Earthshock here. But, whoa, a 4/9 minion. What are you going to do against a 4/9 minion now?
Well, he can just wait. Try to play it slow.
But she's just going to kill 1 minion, then the next one, then the
Yes.
next one. So that's the advantage here of having an Izera out, even if she's not making you any more dream cards. So annoying. And there could be even brawl next turn. If he plays another defensive Argus now, now just brawl even if you lose your minion.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. There are 5 minions on the board. Both Arguses are gone. If he decides to go for Gamache, it actually looks okay for *SasT, since he could just kill it. If he goes for the Emerald Drake, it could turn out to be funny, since the Emerald
Big
Drake...
Game Hunter.
Yeah, it could get Big Game Hunter, and then there's Gamache roaming around. Oh, there are some deceiving plays for Via. Even dropping his Frothing Berserker and going for Whirlwind. That's the #1 deceiving play you want to do here. It would get plus some bazillion attack. +1 for every minion that gets hurt. That would be super strong. But your minion would just die, obviously.
Go 10-3 in the end.
You might see a brawl here, but it feels wasty. Because you got your 7/6 strike, you can just put it down, and it's only 4/6. It's only 8 damage on the board,
I would go for the Drake, armor up.
and just end the turn. Like no, attack with
Just
your Izera,
Trade.
and then
Get
end
rid
your
of
turn.
Salnus.
there's not enough damage to be a threat. 8 damage, you're on 34 HP, you don't care, you're not gonna die to any crazy burst incoming, there will not be a bloodlust.
Just try to force the big game hunter, in my opinion.
Well, there's he's still getting deceived by that play here. He doesn't even need to whirlwind. He can just drop Frosting. He can drop both. That's okay. If sasT plays it right, he could get the Frosting killed by just attacking enemy's minion, getting damage done to actually get him on 7 attack and just sniper Reno him away. For example, charge in with your Argent Commander on the 7-6. Attack with one of your 2 3s, and then you could big game hunter the Frosting Berserker since it would be on 7 attack. But if you do that, you lose damage on your enemy's face, and you kind of want to rush him down before he kills all of your minions. And that would be the play I prefer to get rid of the Frosting Berserker. Since that minion is really getting out of control if you don't kill it. Or he just killed the Frosting with his Argent Commander. Okay, there's a lightning bolt for him. That's sad. You lose your Salnus and get a lightning bolt where you could have dealt 7 damage with.
What? 4.
Yeah, 4 damage to kill the Frosting. Well, now he can just snipe away that minion, and he still keeps his back game hunter for some giant threats. Gets a more board advantage with his wolves, so it's looking, well, it's still not looking good for him. He has 5 minions on the board, but it's 2 damage, 2 damage, 2, 1 damage. There is just no damage on the board. And there's still Brawl roaming around. You could absolutely Brawl if you're happy with it. 1 minion will survive and you whirlwind execute it to death, or just shield slam it to death.
I think he's gonna shield slam the Arch Commander.
He could also just shield slam Argent Commander, attack with his Izara, and
yeah, armor up, end the turn.
Just wait. There's only 5 damage on the board if he kills 1 wolf and the Argent Commander. There's just no damage, and his Izara is healthy enough to kill the rest of the minions on the board. Now one minion, even if silenced, Izara is so strong now in this point. So if you play against Rush, she's more or less useless. If you can play her, most of the times you're dead. Turn 9, since you play her, no impact, you might get a card. And then next turn you die. Not like Ragnaros, you lie him down. He
Boom,
shots.
8 damage.
Yeah, 8 damage to the face or to a minion. You get an advantage from that. And your enemy needs to kill him, maybe. But now, she's actually useful for clearing.
Thinking about Grommash.
Well, there could be Grommash Shield Slam still on an enemy minion. There could also be Grommash Woe and Execute. But there's just no need to do something like that. But
not even shield slamming the 4-2?
I would just
That's
shield slam the
surprising
4-2.
to me. Yeah.
It's okay to not. He might want to keep it for later. But there is no later, I would say. You're just going to lose your armor now. So you can just drop Flame Tongue between his 4-2, make it 6 attack, and kill Izara, for example, and do enough damage to get rid of all the armor points.
Yeah, that was most likely that he's gonna trade the Izara, which opens up the perfect brawl here.
And now it's like if you don't brawl now, we're missing something out.
Yeah.
Then there are only 5 minions of your enemy on the board, and he kills everything except the Taunt Totem.
That's a no-brainer.
That's annoying. There's a 1/3 Taunt Totem on the board. You kind of want to kill it, but you cannot kill it with 1 simple armor up. And if he plays Grommash next turn, it will just get big game hunted. It's so annoying for Via here. And sasT is sitting on 1 card, but with that 1 card, he
can kill Grommash.
Yeah, he can kill Grommash, but he cannot get any board advantage by now. And he even gets an Hex, so Grommash and Ragnaros, both are going to die. But those are only reactive cards, and as we said, you kind of want to get cards to do something with. You want to start board advantage. Play Azure Drakes.
He could armor up, shield slam the totem, equip his weapon, attack, and next turn go for Gromash, insta burst with weapon and kill him.
Absolutely. You could.
So he could have lethal in 2 turns, and there's like, if sasT doesn't get a taunt totem again, it's over.
Taunt Totem or Wolves. Both Argus is
I
lost.
think the wolves are gone as well, both. If I'm
Yeah,
not
but
mistaken.
both early game, that's correct. So both Wolves are gone. Both Argus are gone. The only chance would be a Taunt Totem. Well, you could also whirlwind double execute if you really wants to.
Why?
You can.
You need the trigger.
Yeah, you can shield slam your own Gramash. There's no problem.
Yeah, but
There's just a possibility of a whirlwind double execute. Well, if you really whirlwind double execute, your advantage is you get rid of 2 totems, and there's only a 25% chance he gets the taunt totem. He can still win next turn with a Taskmaster. So
yeah, but he needs to get a Taskmaster.
if not, both are out. That could also be
I think
possible.
he used both.
Still,
Well, I'm not 100% certain, but I think there was a better play.
as you said, your play was a good idea. He could have won. Now he might get another taunt totem, so that's annoying.
Okay.
Whatever we planned, it wouldn't have worked. Well, now it would still have worked with a whirlwind execute. But there's Ragnaros now, so we might just see Ragnaros incoming. The one annoying thing is the Mana Tide Totem. He really wants to play Ragnaros, but you need to kill Mana Tide Totem instantly. If you leave it alive, you might just lose to the amount of cards that are getting drawn by the Shaman. Funny thing, if he goes Gramash now, charges in the 0-2 totem and kills the 0-3 totem, there's just a 4-9 Gramash. He would need to waste his hex and couldn't be game hunted. There's one funny thing. But he will lose his Gramash, and that always hurts if you don't do...
You want to have the 10 damage burst.
Well, we might also just see Gramash whirlwind execute, for example.
Or he goes armor up, shield slam. Nope.
Well, he doesn't need an armor up. He can just clear it like this. And if Ragnaros hits the face, he's dead next turn. If there's not a taunt totem again, well, that's super unlucky for Via here. Just overkilling the healing totem. That's not good for him. And there's Azure Drake upcoming plus Big Game Hunter, for example. And well, 1 Brawl is gone. If he puts down 3 minions now with a Big Game Hunter, you're in trouble. So you're not directly in trouble, but that's 8-9. That's 9 damage on the board plus a lightning bolt. So that's a lot of damage roaming around. Gramash, Whirlwind, execute, and then Gorehowl next turn, GG, win the game. No re. Well, if there's, again, no taunt totem for *sasT, and he's going to lose. We know he has an hex to get rid of Gramash, but there's just a 7 damage Gorehowl roaming around. Come on, get a taunt totem. So the game takes longer. Is he getting it?
Well, he has to check for the totem first. Because
if it's a spell damage totem,
he could go Lightning Storm, Lightning Bolt, attack with his minion, and then taunt, and then hex his own minion.
Yeah, he could absolutely hex his own minion now. It would hurt to see that happen.
But that would be the most that would be the safest play.
Well, he hexes Gramash now. No surprise. That's what you're going to do. But he needs to know he's down to 5.
Yeah,
and even a Kurkan brings him down to 1, and then Geddon would just win. But there's Gorehowl incoming, down to 2. And, well played for Via here with Control Warrior. And he can left. We could see both. Or
could be a mirror.
Could be a mirror. Well, I would say let's start the game and see that our producer here messed up, that *sasT is playing a Druid and not Warlock Warrior, but that's okay. So there's
shout out to Timo.
There's actually a Druid left for *sasT, and as we said, there is a Ramp Druid upcoming, and it will work perfectly. Now, maybe.
Let's see.
But we have a good hand for Via too. He has a Fury War Axe, Slam, Chill One Yeti, and Shield Slam. So if there is a Yeti upcoming, he can Slam War Axe it. If there is a Harvest Golem, he can War Axe it, and next turn kill it with his Taskmaster or get an Armor Smith still. I would maybe drop the Shield Slam, but keep the rest. The hand is just too good to get rid of anything. The only annoying thing is you lack your 2-drop. You kind of want to have an Armor Smith turn 2. Something like that.
It's the one minion you always want to have as a warrior. Just to armor up. If he had an Armor Smith, I would keep the Shield Slam. What?
Well, I'm surprised by that drop. It's okay, I would say, but I'm still surprised. It just gives you so much early advantage over the Ramp Druid. And if you leave him, like, drop everything, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5... well, you could get in heavy trouble.
Oh, and we see a Savage Roar.
So it's the more mid-rangey version we already saw, and it could turn out to work once again. Force of Nature Roar combo. Lothar tried a mid-rangey version too. Well, he lost with it. It didn't work.
Unfortunately,
it didn't work out so good. And there's that one Harvest Golem, and with his other hand, he would have had something to deal with it now. But Via, I would say Via didn't expect a Harvest Golem. That's the only reason I can think of. Coin out Yeti, maybe, this turn. Possible play.
he could. Yeah, I would coin out the Yeti.
If you play your Eclat of Pain, it might just get silenced or killed. You might draw 2 cards, but it would just get killed without a lot of impact.
I think it would rather get it's more likely to get silenced.
And there's a Sylvanas upcoming for SasT.
Wow, Savage Roar and Sylvanas. That's some new stuff. Well, not Savage Roar, but Sylvanas. You don't see it every day in a Druid deck.
Well, Sylvanas Starfall works with an Innovate in 1 turn. So that's a possible play. Not often going to happen, but even if you have her out 1 turn, for example, Sylvanas Innovate Faceless, that are some plays no other class can do, and that's always the advantage. Like, for turn 10-2, Ancient of War, Innovate Faceless, those are really the plays you want to do as a big ramp druid, but as we might see, this is a more mid-rangey version of the ramp druid, and Via's hand is not bad. He could just attack the 2-3, Whirlwind Execute, or just drop a second Yeti, and if SasT's trading, just ping it away, Whirlwind it.
So many Yetis.
Yeah, he has some good options, and SasT is running in Harrison
Jones as well.
Well, we hope that turn. Oh, that turn 7 Gorhal is just gonna get killed, and this is so annoying.
Gorhal is one of the main tools of a warrior to gain and keep the board control. That's the control warrior.
Yeah, and if you don't have it, you're absolutely screwed.
And you're only a warrior.
Yeah, now you miss your control options. There's Acolyte of Pain, Whirlwind Execute maybe incoming. I could see that play. The only annoying thing is if you do it, that Harvest Golem will just drop to 2-2 and survives. That's stupid and hurts. But I don't see. Well, he could Taskmaster up one of his Yetis, but that would feel super sad if you like Taskmaster 1 up to kill the 4-6. You would rather want to Whirlwind Execute it. Just get more options. If you Acolyte of Pain, Whirlwind Execute, and then leave the Harvest Golem alive. That's an okay play. The problem is with your Shield Slam, you would need a shield block, and you could just kill a Yeti instantly, for example.
But he doesn't have one.
Yeah, but there's no shield block left. He lost his armor last turn. Maybe he shouldn't have played the second Yeti. He should have killed the Yeti on the board. And the most annoying thing is he dropped his War Axe. And with the War Axe, he could have just attacked the Harvest.
Does he go for the Whirlwind play?
Now just Taskmaster Execute and
Armor up, maybe?
Well, maybe just deal 8 damage to the face, like ignore what's roaming around. It's also possible. I mean, with 2 Yetis, your enemy can deal with what you throw on the board. But as we know, there's a Sylvanas incoming to this turn, maybe. and you're going to face a Savannahs with 2 Yetis and a Taskmaster on the board, and you cannot kill her. If you kill her, he might get one of your Yetis, and that hurts so much. So PkD might just play Savannahs and rush back, and then go for a roar on those 3 minions. That's gonna be so. if just Via goes for a damage raise, PkD is gonna win it just because of his roar, and that's gonna hurt so much for Via if he tries it. And he's just going.
Yeah, exactly.
But not 100% for the damage raise. Well, the advantage is now if he chooses to Whirlwind, he can just run in 2 of his Yetis. And everything is dead on the board. So that's possible for him now. Or he brings him down to 11. But if you bring him down to 11, what's your follow-up? You would need to play Gorehowl, bring him down to 4, and then hope Ragnaros hits him and you win. In some universe, that would be the plays you could be planning.
How much damage does he have? 11, 8, 19. He is lethal if he doesn't armor up and everything stays alive, which is not gonna happen, of course.
Well, I just see the Whirlwind play here.
Yeah, Whirlwind play is the best one.
The annoying thing is you
want to play your Acolyte to get the card draw with the Whirlwinds, but then you give PkD free Acolyte of Pain.
Well, you could also go Acolyte of Pain, Whirlwind, and Whirlwind again, and he's just 1 charge left, and that's not so hard. So just, for example, just go Whirlwind again now.
Of course.
Since you're just running in your stuff anyway, you could have also done it different, like Whirlwind, run in his stuff, and then play Acolyte Whirlwind. He only draws 1 card, but your enemy is not getting your Acolyte. The only problem I see here is if PkD decides to just rush the phase, drop out even more stuff. Like if he's not up for trading, or if he trades and heals up Acolyte of Pain, that would be funny. Like with his 3, but he needs to go above 15.
It wouldn't even make sense.
It wouldn't even make sense. Heal his Acolyte of Pain. What are you saying? It would work out perfectly.
Could instead just draw 2 cards.
Yeah, rather 2 cards than no cards. But he has his minions here. It's just trolley moves. He could also heal up his Savannahs and continue rampaging the phase. Like kill Yeti, or heal up his Savannahs, kill Yeti, just draw cards, go for phase. So there are several plays possible. You could also just Keeper of the Groves the Yeti and finish it off and be happy with your Savannahs on the board.
I think he wants to keep his Keeper.
He heals himself up and deals even more damage. And the good thing is 10 damage on the board plus a Roar. That would be 14 damage.
16.
With the Keeper of the Grove, 16. With Hero ability, 17 damage, but he cannot Hero ability. So he could deal 16 damage the next turn with what is roaming around for him.
He could trade the Acolyte now.
If he wants to kill Savannahs, he should absolutely trade the Acolyte first. The main problem is he might want to Gorehowl here, but if you Gorehowl, you drop down to 11.
What about you run your Acolyte into Sylvanas, run Yeti into the Ancient, and then play Geddon?
And then your enemy gets Geddon.
That would be devastating and stupid.
Absolutely. But nice we talked about it. So that could be possible.
Completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that happens in ladder, but it shouldn't, because it's going to hurt a lot if it happens to you. And the good thing is, running your guy in, you can just armor up now once and shield slam her away, for example, if you want to. The main problem is you would need your other shield slam to get rid of the next minion.
But I think that's an okay trade for you.
I would have done one thing different. I would have just shield slammed her away first before I run in my Yeti, and then your Frosing would get 1 damage more. since you could have just
If
shield.
if you shield
Ah, if
slam
you
her
shield-
before the Yeti,
Oh, that was
she gets
again.
the Yeti.
Yeah, we both fucked up Savannah's gameplay. It's okay. Now he has a 3-4 out, but there are just more trees coming, and already swipe plus Azure Drake. And he has an Acolyte of Pain, he has a big game hunter. It looks, well, there are so many, there are so many good cards for Via roaming around, but he's gonna bring himself down to, he's on 17, he could bring himself down to 12.
He could go for Ragnaros and just go ham.
But if you go for Ragnaros and go ham, Force of Nature Aurora dead with that 5/5 on the board. So you kind of need to kill the 5/5, but it's gonna cost you a lot.
Yeah, but if you go haul him away, you're dead as well.
Yeah, you're dead as well. So either
So the
go
only sort of safe play is get on trade.
well, that's the safest play where you can say that worked out. That will work out 100%. If you really want to win this game. If you're going for a bit risky play, you could absolutely Gorehowl or Ragnaros. If you choose to go risky, I would prefer the Gorehowl over Ragnaros because you're going to kill him definitely. And then you keep your minion. So even if he has no Force of Nature now, and he's going to big game hunter your Ragnaros, he's just going to trade your minion away. It's going to hurt. Let's see if Via goes lucky here. Oh, this is so stupid. For SasT now. Well, he has a big game hunter.
SasT's crying.
But it's still so annoying that Ragnaros hit his minion. He just lost a 5/5 for, well, it could have hit his face and he would be happy. Well, not happy, but it would be
hit my face.
It would be okay. Now his minions get cleared and there's a 4/2 roaming around for SasT. But Via's answer seems to be obvious.
Get in.
Yeah, get an armor
Get an
up.
armor smith or armor up. Armor up is safer.
But it's okay to play both. And there's even Izera coming again. So he not only plays a slower version with Izera, he also has a get in, obviously. And that turns out to be always useful to get rid of the stupid big game hunters. Well, we could see Black Knight combo.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, well, what can he do?
I think it's the only real play, then just armor up.
Yeah, if he's
Else he cannot get rid of the Geddon.
well, Azure Drake swipe top deck, that would be be cool.
That would, well, yeah.
That would be bossy if it works, and if it doesn't work,
It would
you're
be super lucky, and if it doesn't work, you're in trouble.
absolutely. There's a 4/5 minion now for SasT. He still has a Roar out. We might see a Gorehowl for Via, but yeah, Gorehowl is going to kill a Black Knight, but then the next thing that happens is a 5/4 minion follows up, and it kills your Gorehowl. Harrison is not only going to kill your Gorehowl, your
also
enemy
a big
draws
minion.
a card, and it's a 5/4 minion. It's a 5/4 minion. 4 HP is so annoying, since there's nothing you can do against it except running your Grimash in, but you really don't want to run your Grimash in, just in for a minion. And again, the problem. Are you going to kill the Black Knight? Will you drop below 14 HP and be in Force of Nature Roar range? And that's what's hurting Via here the most. He might be...
No.
You're thinking about maybe Grimash in, but that's not going to kill their minion?
Grimash Fury works. You would drop to 14, but you would have a big minion on the board.
He would drop down low, at least a big minion, but he decides to go for Izera.
That's interesting.
Well,
to say the least.
if he gets a Nightmare and a trigger for his Grimash, that's 10, 15 damage only from Grimash. But wow, top deck here, Force of Nature.
GG.
And SasT wins here, so it didn't even matter what he does. So if he kills it, he would die. If he leaves it alive, it's even more damage. I went kind of sad for Via in the end, but that's why you play a Druid, Via. And I would say let's start the game and see what Via has prepared for us.
It seems to be a rogue. Could be, like, the rogues we see most often is a Miracle Rogue. But we also saw some Malygos rogues.
Malygos rogues are so strong. If they Sinister Strike your brain out, there's always the possibility of that deck. MiA.sasT has some, well, mid-rangey start here with already Yeti and Senjin Shieldmaster plus a Raz. That looks quite good for him. And Via, there's no Auctioneer by now, but at least an Azure Drake, so he can draw a card. Already Preparation Eviscerate. Hand could be worse. It's okay, I would say. But, oh, from turn 4 on, there's trouble incoming.
Oh, already has the combo for turn 9 on his hand. This looks really good for sasT, let's be honest.
Yeah, sasT just wants to survive until turn 9, do his combo, and GG away Via here.
The biggest problem a rogue has, a miracle rogue has, he only has 2 steps to get rid of the taunts, else he's gonna take a lot of damage, or needs to use those eviscerates, and he wants to use the eviscerates to deal the damage to the face, to drop a sasT low, because at turn 8, he can deal a potential of infinite damage. With Leroy, Shadowstab Leroy, and then depending on your preps and cold bloods, you can deal even more damage.
That's correct. You kind of want to get Leroy, Auctioneers, mill through your whole deck, and then burst away your enemy. Via is at the moment struggling with maybe Deadly Poisoning up to deal some damage, but you kind of want to use your Deadly Poison on your Assassin's Blade if he plays one.
If you play one.
To get that 20 damage overall off. So it's going to be 5 damage on 4 charges. That's quite strong. He deals 1 damage and poisons up his weapon. That's a good turn here. And there's Harrison incoming. So if he chooses to wait 1 more turn, he could coin him out. But again, you don't want to kill a normal 3/2 weapon with poison. You want to kill that Assassin's Blade because it's so much damage.
Yeah, but if you can kill a poisoned weapon and draw 2 cards and get a 5/4 out, it's crazy. And the bad thing for Via is that he doesn't know that sasT plays a Harrison. sasT didn't play the Harrison last game, keep that in mind.
He's not predicting it, or at least not counting with it at all. But we saw more and more oozes running around in almost every deck. So you could potentially see it coming. Still, you will be every time surprised if it happens. He uses his Eviscerate on Selnus here to get rid of the minion, but as we see in sasT's hand, there's already another TAS Dingo, so Yeti TAS Dingo, and he would need to use a second Eviscerate. Again, here 2 Eviscerates gone, that's 10 damage with a Selnus in the face that are not going to happen. Well, this is good.
Shift, draw a card, Eviscerate.
That's better. So he doesn't even need to Eviscerate, he can just shift, attack with his blade.
Yeah.
So he keeps the Eviscerate for 5 damage. That turns out to be a better move than just
get a new weapon. Maybe even poison it up if he doesn't run a
I wouldn't
run Assassin's Blade.
I wouldn't poison it up necessarily. Now, since you have the Auctioneer, you can next turn play Auctioneer, Preparation, Eviscerate, Deadly Poison.
Draw 3 cards.
Of the 6 mana.
True. You kind of want to keep your preps though.
Yeah, you not only want to keep, well...
But he needs to draw his cards. He needs the Shadow Stabs, he needs the Leroy.
And a Conceal for his Auctioneer to be safe with it on the board.
Well...
If he's not playing the Deadly Poison, he can Conceal.
Yeah, he has to get Gatan, Prep, Eviscerate, and then hope for Conceal.
That's the number 1 play we're going to see from Via next turn. But the hand of sasT is just good. He can Harrison to draw 2 cards. He can also just taunt up his minion to have a 4/6 on the board. Since, as we said before, you kind of want to Harrison that Assassin's Blade, but you shouldn't get too greedy. So if there's no Assassin's Blade incoming, maybe just use your Harrison.
He can play a 5 mana card, get a 5/4 minion, destroy the weapon, and draw 2 cards.
The main problem with your turn is, if there's a backstab incoming, there just needs to be an Azure Drake and a 4 damage backstab, and your minion is already vaporized. That's the only annoying thing. You could just use your hero ability White Rose, and next turn you have even more mana to do annoying stuff.
Yeah,
That's
but he
like,
doesn't have options on his hand for the annoying stuff.
well, he's getting closer to his turn 9 play for the Force of
Ooh.
Nature and Roar.
He's going for the face now.
And there's also a White Pyromancer for Via. So, version interesting, but as we said, Auctioneer, Preparation, Eviscerate on the minion, for example.
I think he's gonna use... He's thinking about Deadly Poison, like Auctioneer, Deadly Poison. Then use your Salnus and attack the 4/4.
The good thing is, if you use your Salnus here, oh, another Preparation.
Nice.
If you use your Salnus here, you're gonna draw an additional card. But first of all, you absolutely want to drop one Eviscerate. And now with the Cold Blood, I would go for... And the Shadow Step, I would go for Preparation, Cold Blood on your Salnus. Just to deal more and more damage now. I mean, you're getting further and further into the game. And if you draw Leroy now, you could go Leroy, Shadow Step, Leroy. But sometimes you don't have enough mana to then launch a Cold Blood and stuff. And now he used it. If a swipe is incoming, a swipe is incoming. Well, that's sad. But there's already a Force of Nature. So if he wants to, just Force of Nature to clear the board.
He wants to keep his force.
But if you keep
But
your
can
force...
he can't really.
Yeah,
He has to use it. That was well played.
That was well played by SasT, but still sad since you're using your one Force of Nature. Well, maybe it's not a one, maybe he has two.
Well, that would be news to me. Like, of course it could happen. Wow.
That's only 15 damage. That's not enough.
Only 15 damage.
And you're not going to win with those 15 damage.
No, he's gonna play Azure Drake.
We could also just drop Acolyte of Pain and his White Pyromancer if he really wants to just get more and more stuff on the board. Well, you kept your Harrison, and that turns out to be annoying. You could just play White Pyromancer. Even if there's a swipe incoming, it would survive. You need to play another spell or something to get rid of it. But there's... Yeah, he has... Well, SasT has a really sad hand. He has good cards, but he cannot use them for the good. So there's a Raz. What are you going to do? You could Raz at a Zudrake and attack, but then you're dead, most likely.
Yes.
I mean, 12 HP is just one time Leroy Shadow Step.
You're gonna
Leroy.
take the 4 damage regardless.
Yeah, he cannot kill him. He would need to draw a card with Raz and get another Raz or swipe. That would be optimum to not take any damage.
Did he use a swipe already? No. Did he use a Wrath already? No. So it's 3 cards. What else can he draw? For 5 mana, he could draw another Druid, maybe another Senjin. That might help him. But he doesn't know if Via already has the lethal combo. I mean, there is always the potential, and you have to account for that. But sometimes when you play too safe and expect your opponent to have something, you get a disadvantage by doing so. Of course, it's the right thing to do, but it's always mind games.
Sometimes the aggressive play is the better play, even if the safer play would have been smarter. He can kill the minion now, as we said, and trade. But as we see in Via's hand here, this is gonna be the 2-1 for Via. So first win for Planet Key incoming. He drops down to 12, and 12 HP is only Leroy Shadow Step Leroy without anything. That's only a 2-card combo. You don't even need more stuff here. And he plays an Azure Drake and double Acolyte of Pain. That's a hardcore card draw version of the Miracle Rogue.
But also has the Pyromancer against those rush decks, against the Zulok, for example, or potential Hunter.
Well, not only that, he could have played double Acolyte of Pain plus Pyromancer plus Backstab something and draw